You can't create a story that you haven't yourself lived in some way. Otherwise, you are just a craftsman.
You know, I have 7 kids. When they were all growing up, I told them stories every night. I went from room to room to room, telling them all different stories. And I do the same thing with a camera and a crew.
And I think it's okay that a first-time filmmaker, being so inspired by movies and music videos and any kind of music or media, can make a derivative film. It's okay that your first videos and your first attempts at telling a story are derivative, are obviously influenced by something that that you saw last week, and you want to kind of do a version. There's nothing wrong with learning the ABCs, learning your craft by being derivative, but at some point you're going to need to find your natural voice and find a way to give voice to who you are. And who you are, by the way, who you are is original. It just is, because you're not Tom, you're not me, and you're not your best friend, and you're not your teacher, you're not your parents. You are you.
My first movies were just basically imitations of movies I was going out to theaters to see. So they were pure, genre movies, war movies, westerns, science fiction. Well, and there were no statements. I made no statements. I'm talking about my 8mm movies. I'm going way back before I became a director.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that in light of feeling a little bit like an outsider, movies made me feel inside my own skill set.
What calls to me is not whether a film is going to make $1 gazillion. Mm-hmm. What calls to me is there a deep urge in the center of myself that only that film will release and then exorcise. And that's the only condition I'll direct a movie.
It's what I love to do more than anything else. I love to make pictures so I can look at them, so you could look at them, and so I can watch you looking at them, which is really, for me, the best part. If I had to single out one area to which I have an utter devotion, it would be with my preoccupation with the idea and the fight to still believe in the idea when so many others around you just don't get it, and the challenge of staying interested in one single idea for sometimes years, and the struggle not to contaminate that idea after months and years of obsessing over it. When I was in my early teens, I stayed up all night writing a screenplay and felt something to this day I swear I cannot get enough of. It was as close to the feeling of flying as I have ever had. You know what I mean when you're trying to get the words on paper and you're 3 thoughts ahead of yourself, and it's a race to get it all down before it goes back to wherever that stuff originally comes from. And it was called inspiration. And I actually made a movie from that script I wrote all night, and it was called Firelight. And it was truly an awful movie. But the process was what it was all about. The experience of that obsessive focus, of having an idea and actually being able to photograph it. That's been the magic potion for me ever since.
But when you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face, this is who you are, this is what you must be for the rest of your life. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. And I've always said to my kids, the hardest thing to listen to, your instincts, your human personal intuition, always whispers, it never shouts. Very hard to hear. So you have to, every day of your lives, be ready to hear what whispers in your ear. It very rarely shouts. And if you can listen to the whisper, and if it tickles your heart, and it's something you think you want to do for the rest of your life, then that is going to be what you do for the rest of your life. Every movie I've ever made has come from some place, whether conscious or unconsciously, emotional and deep. Even the kind of confections, come from pain. Even Hook, which is a confection that my kids always loved, the movie Hook, came from a deep place. History is the greatest writer of drama and of irony and of catastrophe and of destiny and of victory. You can't do better than history.
About 3/4 of my films all come from books. Mm-hmm. And because of that, you've already got a leg up.